Tired of feeling lost when you listen to English? Do you think you'll never understand everyday conversations? The truth is, you might be sabotaging your learning without even realizing it. Outdated methods, useless tips. Are you wasting your time and energy on things that just don't work? What if I told you there's a secret, something fluent English speakers don't really talk about? A way to unlock your listening skills once and for all, even if you have the craziest, busiest life ever. Get ready, because what I'm about to show you could totally change the way you learn English. It's not magic, it's pure strategy. A simple but seriously powerful technique that's gonna turn every moment of your day into a step towards fluency. If you're ready to uncover this mystery and finally master listening, sign up right now for Learn English Secrets. I'm gonna show you how to kick your fears to the curb and take your English to a level you've never even dreamed of. So let's go. Listening learning technique. If you're looking for a super simple, yet super effective technique to boost your English listening skills, you've totally come to the right place. We're gonna dive into a practical approach that actually makes a real difference in your learning without any complicated stuff and without needing to spend a ton of time every single day. I get it, listening is one of the trickiest things for anyone learning English. It's because a lot of times we just don't get many chances to practice with native speakers in our day-to-day lives. And honestly, trying to understand a super fast conversation packed with slang can feel like trying to climb Mount Everest. But chill out. With the technique I'm about to share, practicing your listening is gonna become as natural as brushing your teeth or grabbing your morning coffee. The idea here is super simple. Consistent practice is the big key to nailing listening. We're not talking about locking yourself away for hours with boring materials. Nope. It's about smoothly fitting learning into your daily life in a way that's light, fun, and most importantly, actually works. Let's ditch those old, heavy methods and focus on something that seriously moves the needle. This technique we're about to explore is like a secret weapon kept on the down low that not many people know about, but it can totally change the game. And the best part: you don't need expensive stuff or block out huge chunks of time. It's all about smartly using those little pockets of time in your day that sometimes feel wasted, like when you're stuck in traffic or hitting the treadmill at the gym, and turning them into super productive learning moments. So get ready to totally shake up how you practice English, and who knows, maybe even fall head over heels for this awesome language. With this brand new listening learning technique, you're gonna discover how it's totally possible to learn and have a blast doing it. Let's jump in. Why most people give up. Now that we've talked about how cool listening learning is, let's face a reality that hits a lot of us: giving up. Did you know that tons of people give up on improving their English listening skills because of methods that are just plain tiring and unmotivating? Just picture this. How many times have you heard about someone deciding to watch the same movie twice, once with subtitles and then again without trying to boost their listening? Or those folks who spend hours and hours writing down long audio clips word for word, hoping to soak up the language better. Don't get me wrong, those techniques have their value and can work in a way, but let's be real, they can be exhausting and a lot of times totally kill your motivation. The problem with these methods is exactly how hard and complicated it is to actually stick with them. Have you ever been there? Share your stories in the comments, let's learn together. When practice feels like a chore, it's natural for your motivation to just disappear, right? And then what starts out with excitement and wanting to learn turns into a boring task and often gets dropped before you see any real results. The point here is, improving your listening takes time, but it doesn't have to suck all your energy. The secret sauce is finding strategies that fit naturally into your day without feeling like a burden. Something you can practice consistently and, most importantly, actually enjoy. That's why the technique I'm gonna share with you is different. It not only makes the whole process simpler, but it makes listening practice fit so smoothly into your routine that you almost don't even realize how much you're learning. It's time to show that you can totally level up your learning and still have fun doing it. Let's see in the next step how this is actually possible. The key to success: convenience. Alright, let's talk about convenience. This is the secret ingredient that makes all the difference when it comes to learning English or honestly any skill. For a method to really work in the long run, it's gotta be practical and easy to fit into our daily lives. If it's complicated or tiring, the chances of giving up are pretty high even before you see results. So how can we make this way easier? Just imagine a learning method that fits into those little free moments in your day, without turning your whole schedule upside down. That's what convenience is all about. People who are successful at learning English have figured out that the key is to sprinkle learning throughout their everyday activities. Say goodbye to those hard methods that demand hours and hours of focus straight. The future of learning is all about using your time smartly, without feeling like you're sacrificing your chill time or relaxation. What makes a method convenient? Simplicity, easy access, and flexibility. The idea is to use those moments in your day when your hands and mind are free to soak up English content, even if it's just for a few minutes. It could be while you're waiting in line at the grocery store on that morning walk, or even while you're making lunch. This way, you learn almost automatically without even realizing it. Convenience goes hand in hand with consistency. A convenient method is way more likely to stick, and as we already know, regular practice is what leads to real improvement. It's about finding that perfect mix between learning English and living your everyday life normally. Less effort, more results. And best of all, it's natural and not rushed. So let's see how to put this into practice with a super effective technique in the next step. You're about to find out how to turn those spare moments into learning opportunities and how this can seriously boost your listening skills. Come with me. The two-step technique. Ready to uncover a practical and effective technique to seriously improve your English listening? This approach is broken down into two simple but powerful steps that can be easily added to your day-to-day life, turning regular moments into real learning opportunities. Step 1. Listen to natural conversations. The first part of this journey is to find audio content in English that is totally natural and real. Think about podcasts, interviews, or even dialogues from shows that grab your attention. You know what's even cooler? Picking topics that you already love or that make you super curious. This way, it becomes way more fun and you won't even feel like you're studying. These audio treasures are super easy to find online, and the best part is that a lot of them are totally free. Just a quick search and you'll find a whole world of options. But hey, did you know that Learn English Secrets can also lend you a hand with this? Our videos are packed with real conversations, valuable tips, and real-life situations that'll help you turbocharge your English. So, how about starting by exploring the videos on Learn English Secrets? You can find topics that you're into, learn new vocabulary, and also practice your listening skills. And after checking us out, you can add other stuff like podcasts or interviews to the mix. Pick a few of these materials that catch your eye and keep them handy on your phone. This way, you'll have an awesome collection to practice whenever and wherever you want. Step 2. Listen while doing other activities now. Using the content you've downloaded, it's time to listen while you're doing other daily stuff. Whether you're on public transport, working out, cooking, or even just waiting in line at the bank, these moments are perfect to hit play. The idea is to fit English into your daily routine constantly, but without needing to set aside specific study time. This makes listening practice become a natural part of your routine, almost without you noticing. The reason why this technique is so effective is its simplicity mixed with high exposure to the language. When you listen to natural dialogues regularly, even if you're not actively focusing, your brain starts to get used to the rhythm, the intonation, and the vocabulary of spoken English. You're immersing yourself in the language, and this continuous practice helps build a solid listening foundation. This method not only saves you time, but it maxes out your learning while you keep up with your busy life. And over time, you'll notice that your English comprehension improves almost magically. So get your headphones ready and take advantage of every chance you get to train your ear. This is a smart and effective way to make English a part of your daily world. Let's dig into more details and benefits of this technique in the next steps. Stick with me. Why this technique works. Let's explore why this listening learning technique is so effective and why it can become your best buddy in the journey to English fluency. The first reason is really simple. It turns learning into something easy and sustainable. By listening to English conversations during your daily activities, you're actually taking advantage of moments that could be wasted and turning them into learning opportunities. Without needing to block out extra time in your schedule, you manage to fit English in naturally and easily, almost without even realizing it. Another reason why this technique works so well is constant exposure to the language. When you listen to English every day, you start getting used to different accents, speech rhythms, and idiomatic expressions that are part of the language. Over time, phrases that once sounded complicated become familiar, and your ability to understand spoken English improves a lot. Plus, the convenience of this technique can't be ignored, because it fits perfectly into those free moments in your day, like during your commute or while working out. It becomes way easier to stay consistent. You don't get that feeling of having to choose between learning or doing other things. You can do both at the same time. And here's another cherry on top. By listening to natural dialogues, you're exposing your brain to real English, which a lot of traditional methods just don't offer. This frequent contact with the language in a real-world context speeds up your comprehension and deepens your understanding of everyday language used by native speakers. Finally, this method builds patience and consistency, two key things in learning any language. By keeping up this constant practice, you slowly start to notice that your listening skills evolve, getting sharper and more intuitive. And trust me, seeing this progress is one of the most motivating rewards ever. Now that you understand why this works, go ahead and start using it in your daily life. It's a simple change, but the results are seriously impressive. And don't forget, every little listening session is one more step towards fluency. Let's stick with it together. Active versus passive listening. Level up your ear training. Now that you're riding the wave of this awesome listening learning technique, let's supercharge your progress by diving deeper into something crucial: understanding and mastering active versus passive listening. Think of them as two powerful gears in your listening engine. Knowing when to shift between them can seriously rev up your English comprehension. Imagine passive listening as creating an English-speaking atmosphere around you, like setting the stage for your language learning journey. This is when you let English audio flow in the background while you're tackling other daily activities. We're talking about times like when you're tidying up your space, taking a relaxing bath, strolling through the park, or even as you drift off to sleep. It's not about intensely focusing on every single word. It's more about letting the sounds of English become a familiar part of your environment. Think of it like musical immersion. You're not necessarily analyzing every note, but you're absorbing the overall melody and rhythm. What's the magic of passive listening? It's all about familiarization. Even if you're not consciously trying to understand every word, your brain is actually working behind the scenes. It's getting accustomed to the natural flow of English, the ups and downs of intonation, the typical sound patterns, and the general rhythm of spoken sentences. It's like planting seeds of familiarity in your mind, making it easier to recognize and process English sounds later on. Passive listening is fantastic for building a subconscious foundation, a comfort level with the sheer sound of the language. It's low pressure, relaxed, and a super easy way to increase your overall exposure time. Now let's switch gears to active listening. This is where you become an English comprehension ninja. Active listening is all about focused attention and intentional effort. It's when you really lean in, putting on your mental detective hat to decipher and understand what you're hearing. This is the time to grab your headphones and really concentrate. During active listening sessions, you might be doing things like pausing the audio to replay tricky parts, looking up new words or expressions in real time, jotting down key phrases or ideas, or even repeating sentences out loud to practice pronunciation and rhythm. Think of active listening as a targeted workout for your listening muscles. It's more demanding and requires concentration, but it's also where you'll see significant breakthroughs in your understanding. It's about actively engaging with the content, dissecting it, and pushing your comprehension limits. Active listening could involve using transcripts to follow along and check your understanding, or even shadowing the speaker, trying to speak along with them to mimic their pronunciation and intonation. It's intense but incredibly rewarding because it hones your listening skills with precision. So which listening style reigns supreme? Here's the cool secret: neither is better than the other. They're both incredibly valuable and serve different but equally important purposes in your language learning journey. Passive listening is your foundation builder, creating a comfortable environment and subconscious familiarity. Active listening is your skill-sharpening tool, honing your comprehension, expanding your vocabulary, and boosting your focused attention. The ultimate strategy? Combine them. The most effective approach is to seamlessly weave both active and passive listening into your weekly routine. Think of it as a balanced diet for your ears. Use passive listening to create a constant background of English, making it a natural part of your day-to-day. Then, schedule dedicated active listening sessions when you want to truly challenge yourself and make focused progress. For example, you could passively listen to a podcast about current events while you're getting ready in the morning, absorbing the general flow and rhythm of news-style English. Then in the afternoon, perhaps during a coffee break, you could actively listen to a shorter segment of a different podcast, maybe one focused on a specific topic you're studying, taking notes, looking up words, and really digging deep into the content. The key is to be flexible and listen to your own energy levels and learning goals. Some days you might feel energized and ready for an intense active listening session. Other days, you might just need the gentle immersion of passive listening. The beauty of this combined approach is that it allows you to learn consistently, effectively, and in a way that fits your life without burning out. By consciously choosing when to engage in active versus passive listening, you're not just increasing your practice time, you're optimizing your learning. You're tailoring your listening practice to suit your needs, ensuring continuous progress, whether you're deeply focused or just letting English become a natural soundtrack to your day. So, are you ready to harness the power of both active and passive listening and truly revolutionize your ear training? Let's keep tuning in and leveling up together. Comparing it to watching movies. Now that we get how effective the listening strategy during daily activities is, let's do a cool comparison. How does this technique measure up against the common practice of watching movies in English? Let's say that by using our technique, you listen to English for 30 minutes every day. By the end of a year, that adds up to around 10,950 minutes of listening practice. That means constantly being in touch with real language in a dynamic way that fits perfectly into your routine. Now let's think about the traditional strategy of watching movies to learn English. Let's say you watch 4 movies a week. If each movie lasts around 120 minutes on average, you rack up around 10,400 minutes of English exposure in a year. Even though that's a good amount of practice time, there's a catch. You're spending a total of 20,800 minutes, since watching movies usually takes up your free time just for that activity. The difference here is pretty clear, right? While watching movies is a good technique, daily practice of listening to podcasts or audiobooks during other activities doubles the time you spend learning and, bonus, saves you valuable minutes that can be used in other ways. That's because by listening while you do routine tasks, you're using your time way more efficiently, learning while doing something you'd be doing anyway. The listening technique also has another advantage: flexibility in choosing content. You get to pick what you want to listen to, from topics that interest you to interviews and conversations that talk about the culture that comes with the language, giving you a more well-rounded learning experience. So, when we compare it to the traditional movie watching technique, we see how much this method of listening to dialogues during the day not only promises time savings, but also a more natural and less forced way to fit English into your routine. Let's keep going with this logic, exploring even more benefits and possibilities. Saving time. Let's talk about one of the biggest wins of the listening learning technique: saving time. In a world where we're always busy trying to balance work, studies, fun, and a bunch of other responsibilities, finding ways to get more out of our time can make a huge difference. And this is where this method really shines. By adding listening to English content to your daily activities like during commutes or while doing housework, you save a seriously impressive amount of time. We're talking about over 20,000 minutes a year. Yep, you heard that right. Instead of setting aside specific time for listening practice, you just add it to your routine that's already there. Imagine all the possibilities that open up with this time saving. Not only do you get more freedom to chill, but you can also use this extra time to dive deeper into other parts of learning English. For example, you could spend time reading, practicing writing, or even jump into conversations in study groups. This integrated approach means you're boosting your learning in a smart way. And of course, besides making your learning more efficient, this time-saving technique helps you keep a flexible routine. If you're digging this idea and want to see more tips like this, don't forget to hit the like button on the video so I know. There's no need to sacrifice free time or give up moments of rest to learn a new language. You learn while you live your life almost without noticing. The secret is turning minutes that were once underused into valuable learning moments. And you know what's cool? This also takes away that feeling of always being overloaded, because learning English stops being just another task on your list and starts to flow more naturally. This way, you not only become more fluent in the language, but you also get better at managing your precious time efficiently. So, let's take advantage of this time saving to max out your learning, ready to explore more benefits and get inspired to make the most of every minute. We're in this journey together to make English a comfy and accessible part of your everyday life. The importance of patience. Now that we've talked about how efficient and time-saving this listening learning technique is, let's get into something super important for long-term success: patience. Improving your English listening skills, like any other skill, doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that takes time, consistency, and most of all, patience. When you first start listening to English regularly, you might feel like you still have a long way to go, especially if dialogues sound like they're spoken at lightning speed. But the key here is to remember that every moment of listening practice is adding to your progress. Even if it takes a little while to notice big improvements, every minute you put in is making the ground fertile for continuous growth. It's important to celebrate the small wins. Maybe you notice you understood more words in a dialogue than you did a few weeks ago, or you can more easily pick out certain accents. These are clear signs that your effort is paying off. Those seconds of clarity in the middle of minutes of confusion are signs that your listening ability is developing. Patience also helps keep your motivation up. When you accept that learning is a process that takes time, it gets easier to avoid frustration. And that's why consistency is so important. Keeping a regular rhythm of practice, even when the results aren't immediate, is what will lead you to success. Another tip is to keep a mindset of always learning. Understanding that there will always be new details to catch and soak up in English is key to staying curious and passionate about learning. Over time, what seemed like an impossible challenge becomes a natural and even fun part of your learning journey. So be patient with yourself and keep at it. With time, the results that seem far away today will become part of your everyday life. Together, let's keep this rhythm going and with patience, enjoy the rewards of your hard work. Progress is always coming for those who keep walking this path with persistence. Using your time. Let's think together about something that's really important: how you use your time. With the listening learning technique saving you over 20,000 minutes a year, a question pops up. How would you choose to use this extra time? This is a cool exercise and could even be a game changer in your daily routine. With smart time management, this bonus can turn into tons of opportunities for personal growth or just moments to relax. Think about the things you've always wanted to do but never found enough time for. Maybe it's diving into that book that's been waiting on your shelf for ages, picking up a new skill, or even getting into regular physical activity. Who knows, these extra minutes could mean more quality time with friends and family, or even getting into a new hobby that's always interested you. On the other hand, you could dive even deeper into your English learning. Maybe sign up for an online course that complements your listening skills with grammar or writing, join conversation groups to practice what you've learned, or just explore cultural content in English from books to movies that broaden your knowledge of the language and culture. This thinking is really an invite for you to consider what makes you happy and how these saved moments can be a tool to invest in yourself. Using time wisely is one of the biggest skills we can develop, and this learning technique gives you the freedom to explore this in a new and exciting way. So how do you think you'd use those 20,000 minutes? Drop your answer in the comments and let's figure out together the best ways to use this time. Take a moment to think and maybe make some plans. After all, learning English is already bringing awesome gains, and now with time on your side, the sky's the limit. Let's work together to max out this potential and find out the endless possibilities that open up when we manage our time wisely. The power of interaction. To wrap up this learning journey, let's talk about the power of interaction and how it can boost your English progress. Now that you know this effective listening technique and you've thought about using your extra time, it's time to bring in collaboration and sharing experiences. Interacting with other people who are on the same journey can be super motivating. Sharing challenges, wins, and tips creates a supportive space that can take you even further. So why not use these conversations as part of your development? A practical way to start is by getting involved in online communities focused on learning English. These platforms are full of interaction and give you the chance to practice the language with people from different parts of the world. Plus, they expose you to different perspectives and cultures, making your language understanding even richer. You can also look for local study groups or language exchange sessions where sharing knowledge is the main thing. During these interactions, you'll not only improve your speaking and listening, but also gain confidence using English in a social setting. Also, commenting and hearing stories from others about how they manage their extra time can give you new ideas and inspiration for your own growth. Sharing is a two-way street where everyone wins. Lastly, push yourself to document your progress. Whether in a blog, a journal, or even on social media, this record will not only measure your progress, but it can also inspire other people who are facing the same challenges in learning English. So, let's create a space for sharing and growth where every interaction is a chance to practice, learn, and inspire. Your path to fluency is even brighter when you walk it with the support of a community that believes in the power of collaborative learning. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see you shine with everything you're learning. Conclusion. Hey, did you get the hang of letting English flow into your day-to-day life? Turning those routine activities into listening workouts is a smart move that really works. The secret is listening practically and effectively. If these tips helped you see learning in a new way, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me keep bringing content that makes a difference. Before we wrap up, I want to challenge you with the secret phrase from the video. When I transform wasted time into learning, my fluency will be. Complete this phrase in the comments with something that makes sense to you. I'm curious to know how you'll personalize this idea with your own experience. And remember, we'll always be here to uncover and reveal the Learn English secrets. Keep improving your skills and uncovering the Learn English secrets through this video or playlist right here. See you in the next video.